come over to get involved in this sport. He's very, very serious. He's very dedicated to the sport. That's why he's so successful at it. He's made one run with the red truck. Remember, Roush is one of the pullers that does run 2 vehicles on the circuit. He learned from the one run. Let's see exactly what he learned. Distance 145. Roush has to make a full pull to get into a pull-off. Let's see what's going to happen.
He's going to do it, Arnie.
Good run, boy.
He puts it almost through the tunnel wall. A full pull for Wayne Roush. He joins 2 other pullers, Mark Miller and Mark HAERR, in a pull-off. So obviously, Wayne Roush learned a lot from his first pull out on the track.
Well, Wayne, that's what the sport's all about. You're going to a pull-off.
That's right. That's what we needed to do.
What did you do?
Well, I thought maybe for a while it wasn't going to come that good. It didn't seem to pick up speed very well out there.
There's 3 of you in a pull-off. Can you win?
We're sure going to try.
Army, I'm a little bit confused as we get ready next for Dan Walsh in the Irish Challenger Ford. I'm confused because all the pullers are saying the track is bad, but we've had 3 full pulls.
Yeah, but what they're having to do, Richard, I agree with you. What they're doing, they're experimenting with the weight so radically. Everybody is going to the weight on the very back of the truck. Walsh sits on the starting line. You don't see a whole lot of weights hung on the nose of that 2-wheel drive truck. Everything is stuck between the rear wheels, and it's going to work for him. Look at the horsepower starting to come in for the Ford now. Got to make a full pull. He does, yeah.
He certainly does. He follows Wayne Roush. The distance of the track, a full pull also for Dan Walsh. Obviously, he had his weight just right.
Well, I just hoping it'd hook up, but it wanted to hook and then it let loose. I think I could have used 100 pounds up front to make it stay hooked.
Boy, Richard, that's kind of interesting. The only puller that want to put weight in the front of the truck tonight.
Well, of course, you said all these guys are experimenting, and if you want to talk about someone that experiments with a lot of success, you got to mention the name of Ken LAMONT. He is a 2-time former national champion on this Redman TNT circuit. It's the Midnight Express plain old toolbox Chevrolet El Camino.
Chevrolet El Camino, powered by Arias engine, and you can bet he has been watching the rest of these drivers to see what's working. Again, you look at the front of his truck, no weight on the nose at all. Starts to sky him. Now it hooks bad to the right. That's going to really hurt him, Richard.
Oh, he's close, though.
Close, but not going to be there, I don't believe. A 145 track.
144.02, so Ken LAMONT misses a full pull by less than a foot, and I got a feeling Ken is not going to be very happy with his distance and with the pull that he just made on this track.
Well, Ken, when this received word, it was not a full pull, but it was awfully, awfully close.
I tell you what, they say that different experiences build character. A track like this gives a guy a whole lot of character.
What can you do on a track like it? What seems to be working is something I didn't think would work. The guys that are coming out and nailing it, they're getting enough ground speed to pull them on out.
Yeah, well, I wasted one motor, and at $30,000 a pop, I'm not going to waste any more motors on tracks like that. Just not worth it.
I'll tell you what, I think Ken LAMONT is very, very irritated. Maybe so much more with his pull than with the track itself, Army.
Well, no, you know, LAMONT, what I like about that kid, he just calls it like he sees it. That's the true feeling of LAMONT right there, not the run he was looking for. Less than a foot. A foot further, he would have been in the pull-off. He's not going to be there tonight.
But I don't think you can blame the track when we've already had 3 guys make full pulls.
Exactly. It's the same track they're all running on.
Well, let's get ready for the current national champion. Talking about the Bad Dog Ford driver of Mike Stowe. He's out of Warrington, Georgia. And get ready for a heck of a shot from Mike.
This is going to be one of the last times we're going to see this sheet metal. Stowe's going to be tooling up with an 89 Ford body, but he has a lot of problems. For some reason now, everybody's getting crooked on the track. LAMONT hooked to the right. Stowe hooked to the right. Overcorrected, came back to the left, and only goes a 139. That's unheard of for him, Richard.
139.24. I've never seen such a short distance in competition from Mike Stowe, but I'll tell you, he'll be happy anyway.
Mike, the cameraman wants to know why you're aiming at him.
I tell you, it had a mind of its own. It wanted to go where it did. I guess I missed the weight about a weight there. We were debating on whether to leave one up or put it back up or move it to the back. I guess I made the wrong decision. You're going to do that if you're in this game long enough.
Okay, now move it up. You mean take it off the front, put it on the back of the vehicle?
Right. We took too much off of the front and moved it to the back, and I should have left it like I had it to start with. Usually, your first impressions are usually your best when you walk in and look at a track. But when you're at the back of the field and you think the track's going away, you think it may be deteriorating, you see guys moving weight, and you feel like, well, maybe I ought to adjust. And usually it's better just to set it and leave it and run.
Well, that's pulling distance is definitely going to hurt Mike Stowe in his quest for this Winter National Championship. As we get ready for our final puller, it is Lige McLean. He calls his truck Rowdy. It's a Chevrolet out of DeMossville, Kentucky.
You know, this has got to be one of the cleanest looking trucks on the tour. Not a lot of stickers all over and everything. McLean is a professional puller. He and his wife Carol follow the circuit. Now he's making some horsepower. He's got some good ground speed. He's going straight, Richard. The engine, tough braking. Sound like a blower belt may have gone away on him. The engine completely went.
131.81 the distance for Lige McLean, so he's out of it, but 4 guys are in it. They're in a pull-off. Coming up next on Power Tracks and ESPN. Army Armstrong, we are watching the Major League of Professional Truck and Tractor Pulling. Army, it is the modified 2-wheel drive competition. We're moving into a 4-truck pull-off with Mark Miller, Dan Walsh, Wayne Roush, and Mark HAERR, and they're all going to start out pretty equal except for the added weight in the sled. And that happens to be the subject matter of our question of the week. This question of the week about the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series comes to us from Rick Bolyard of Brownstown, Illinois. And Rick wants to know how much weight is in the weight box on the sled at the start of a class, and then how much weight is added in case there's a pull-off. Well, Rick, we have with us Ron Hickson. Ron is one of the foremost sled operators in the country. And Ron, in the case of the 2-wheel drive competition we have tonight and a 145-foot-long track, how much weight will you start with in the box?
Roughly 12,000 pounds, 6 blocks at 2,000 pound apiece.
And in case of a pull-off, how much weight will you add to the sled?
Normally 1 more block, 2,000 pounds.
And of course, 2,000 pounds, he's talking about 1 ton of weight being added. But that's not the only critical factor as far as the weight box is concerned, is it?
No, you can change the speed of it. Normally I don't, but you can change the speed of the box going up the rail.
All right, so hopefully you'll get to see a pull-off and see exactly what Ron means about adding the weight to the box. Rick, we appreciate the question, and if you have a question of the week about the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series, send it to us at TNT Motorsports, 5515 Poplar Park Boulevard, Louisville, Kentucky, 40228. And if we use your question on a future broadcast, we'll send you free a TNT Motorsports hat. Well, Army, there's no hope about it. We have got a pull-off, and we've got a super pull-off for the top drivers in the country, and we're going to kick it off with Mark Miller, the Mini Brute Chevrolet out of Little Plymouth, Virginia.
Well, Richard, in this sport, you pull off the way you full pull. Now, Miller was the first one to make that shot, so he's the first one to go back with the new sled. Remember, 2,000 pounds more weight. Let's see what's going to happen. A moment ago, 145, no problem. Right now, it is a fistful. The front end stays on the ground. It's just pure muscle right now, Richard.
It is like a tugboat trying to pull a battleship. 113.19 for Mark Miller. He's not going to be real happy with that distance because I doubt if it's going to win it tonight in Greensboro.
Mark, you're first to make a full pull. There's 3 more that came after you. They followed your tracks. You moved the sled on the pull-off. You went all the way to the left side of the track. You nailed the throttle. Is that going to be good enough to win?
No, coming off the starting line, I broke the tires loose too quick, and it was just nose heavy. It rusted away. I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of them don't beat me.
Now there you hear it from the horse's mouth. Mark Miller doubting if he has any chance at all to win in this pull-off in his Mini Brute Chevrolet. As we get ready for our next puller, that will be Mark HAERR, the Jack Daniels Humpco machine out of Springfield, Ohio.
Well, it's amazing. During our interview earlier, he made very certain that I let people know that was a Chevrolet truck powered by Dodge, the Jack Daniels S10 Chevrolet. Let's see what's going to happen. Now, his weight looks a little bit better, Richard. You notice how he's powering it up. That's a good run for the position the track's in. He had to go on the other side of a 113. He goes a 128.
128.96, so he takes over the lead in this 4-truck pull-off as we get ready for Wayne Roush in the yellow Model T. Wayne, the veteran out of Dublin, Ohio, as we told you before, is a many-time national champion and considered by even some of the fellow pullers a real legend in the sport.
Tell you what, Richard, this guy has a lot of respect from his competitors. Let's see what's going to happen. The gentle giant, but Richard, this guy walks softly but carries a big, big stick with that Chrysler horsepower. Lays down a perfect run. Look at here, Richard, a bad track and all. Roush still nails it.
He almost took it the full length, a 142 for Wayne Roush. So he is going to take over first place in this 4-truck pull-off, and he takes over first, Army, by 13, almost 14 feet.
Boy, that's amazing.
And that means we have got one truck to go. It belongs to Dan Walsh out of Mouston, Wisconsin. It is the Irish Challenger, and it is a Ford for all you Ford fans.
I tell you, Richard, I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say nobody will make a run that can beat Roush tonight.
Why?
That was just a perfect run. It was amazing. He had everything perfect. Now, Walsh is going after him. But already, you hear the RPM go up on the engine, the ground speed slowed down. Walsh makes a good run, but Roush just wins this thing with a perfect run if there's ever such a thing.
Dan Walsh goes 128.14, so our winner tonight, Wayne Roush.
When the class competition first started, everybody said it was going to be a thinking man's class, and that's exactly what it was. Wayne Roush, you held on to win this thing.
Yeah, well, you got to think, but you've got to be a little bit lucky, too, sometimes, Army.
Okay, the luck here, is that determined by the position you drew in?
I didn't feel that the position made much difference tonight. It seemed to me it was a pretty fair track that way.
When the fellas run in front of you, Wayne, do you watch what they do and adjust accordingly?
I certainly do. I was particularly watching how they came out of the hole and if they spun their tires or just tried to ease out.
Well, congratulations. You did an awfully good job tonight.
Thank you, Army. This points race is going to be awful tight. You know, I won tonight, the yellow truck won, but Mike Stowe and Ken Lamont and Lyons, they're going to be right in there.
And it was another great show by the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series drivers. We run down the top 5. Ken Lamont in 5th. Mark Miller takes 4th. Dan Walsh 3rd. Mark HAERR 2nd. And our congratulations to a real veteran, the current national points leader, Wayne Roush, crowned the winner tonight in the Greensboro Colliseum. So that's going to wrap things up for us. On behalf of Army Armstrong and all the folks at TNT Motorsports, I'm Richard Leek saying we'll see you again on the tracks across America.
Join us next time for Power Tracks, the most powerful sport on earth. Brought to you by TNT Motorsports, the nation's leader in pulling and monster truck racing.
Turning the power on. Engine reeled up and it's raring to go. Gotta get it right, can't be too slow. See the lightning, hear the thunder roll.